What is up, y'all? Welcome to my fantasy football podcast. This is Cozmo, episode 11. Woo! We're starting out on some good juju, folks. We have Andy Reid here getting a freaking Gatorade bath, all right? I was very upset this past weekend, but I think a lot of NFL fans should be upset. A lot of bad losses this past week, so we're just going to act like that one didn't happen, okay? We're going to move on, and we're going to go to week 6. So here we are. We have a little bit of Andy Reid, just some good juju for the Chiefs, man. Little prime time Sunday night football. We like to see it. We got a couple of these though. We got a couple. We can scroll through here. I like these. See a couple of the good guys here. Oh, a little Tyreek in there. Makes you feel good. Anyways, we're hopping into our picks for this week, and we'll get into our fantasy lineups, and then just kind of a few predictions that I have for this week and this year, because, man, the NFL season's getting really crazy. Let's just get right into it, man. Our picks for this week, Eagles and Giants tonight. Man, everyone would be like, oh, let's just give it to the Eagles, the Giants, write them off. But let's think about this. Lane Johnson for the Eagles, he's hurt. He's out. So that's a Pro Bowl guard that they need, and that's very essential to the tush push. I also want to draw attention to the other guard, the right guard, the one that is usually, it looks like almost a false start. They did call him for it once last week, where he's coming down and he's slapping the center's butt to basically tell him, hey, Jalen's hitting his heel and you're going to snap the ball to him. So I'd watch out for this, because if they're going to call some penalties on the Eagles, this could really be a little dicey for them. The only bad thing about this game that the Eagles have over the Giants is that there's Saquon Barkley. This guy is a force of nature, man. You can't really reckon with him. He's kind of been slow start to the year, but he had a really good week last week, had his first touchdown. He really needed that. Coming in here, they are 7.5-point favorites. I remember last weekend, the Rams were 7.5 favorites over the 49ers. And I was like, man, the Rams look so much better, and the 49ers are hurt. So let's do the Rams. This is one that I'd be careful with, because the over-under is at 40 and the spread's at 7.5. So what this tells me is that they're expecting I don't know, like that, because that it means this would be a low-scoring defensive game, which is different than what these two teams usually do. Both are very high-output teams. Coming down here, if you were looking at these matchups, I see these. These don't mean night and day here, but you always have to pay attention to them. Offense, 30th ranked in the league, 31st in passing yards, 25th in rushing yards. Yards don't mean the most, but you also have to pay attention to that, because I like that, because I think that offensive output is a great indicator of your success down the stretch. In the beginning of the season, if you're not figuring it out early, which it seems like the Eagles' offense is not figuring it out early, defenses can capitalize that. And we saw the Broncos do it last week. They scored 17 unanswered because the Eagles couldn't get it back going in the second half. And I understand, it's a tough loss, and they're going to come back and try to punch them in the mouth. But I don't think I can give the Eagles 7.5 points here. It just doesn't make sense to me. Coming down here, though, I'm going to give the Broncos 7.5 points against the Jets. Jets are a very bad football team. They've played some close games this year, came back on a couple guys, but the Broncos just beat the Eagles, man. Give them some credit. They're going to be on fire, man. They're heading up to New York again. They were just in Philly a couple weeks ago, right around the block. So they're going to go up there and just tear the Jets up, I'm sure. I'm sure they're just ready for that. They probably talked about it last week, that they're going to go and do the same thing this week. But they might have an advantage this week, because they're going to be able to put their foot on the gas on them too. So I'm going to give them 7.5 points there. Rams, Ravens here. This is a tough one, because everyone would like to discount the Ravens. Houston beat them by, 30 points last week. But the Rams are just tossed a close game to the 49ers. They've had a week and a half off. So I feel like, to be safe, you might just give it to the Rams, because I know that even if Lamar plays, he's going to be hurt, and it's still going to be a great game for the Rams. But I'm pretty sure they're going to have Lamar Jackson out. That'd be the wise decision. They have a bye week then a week after. So if he doesn't play this week, goes on a bye week after, then he's going to be safe to play, and they might have some ability to take over their division. Oh yeah, but we're talking about offense and over here, I mean, passing yards first in the league, 21st in rushing, but it doesn't matter when you're first in the league in passing. These guys get the ball out there. Um, in defense, ouch, 31st in the league in passing. These guys are going to expose them. I see Puka Nakua over 75 yards in this game easily, unless they pull him early. Cowboys Panthers here. And this is a tough one because the Cowboys just keep playing some close games. Over under here is at 50. So, they're expecting the Cowboys to put a bunch of points on. But I feel like the Panthers defense has just played so well. And they might be the ones that can stop these guys. But here we are again, yards, but pretty good defense over here. These guys are playing lights out against some really good opponents too. Pitched a shutout in the NFL, which is crazy. No, not a lot of people can say that. So I'm going to give the Panthers 3.5 points here, but I would take the Cowboys to win. They just play close games. Obviously, they have a tie under their belt. So we'll maybe say they win by a couple points, but I'm not going to give them 3.5. That's 4 points there. We'll give them a field goal. That's fair. Cardinals, Colts, 6.5 points to my boys at the Colts. I feel like this is a no-brainer, if I'm being honest. This could potentially be a trap game then, because if it's a no-brainer, Vegas, that's where they like to slide in and steal it from you. But it's 6.5 points. If they're going to give the Broncos 7.5 and the Eagles 7.5, you might as well give the Colts 6.5. The Cardinals, listen, they've played, I think it was all of their losses, so their 3 losses, they've lost within a combined 5 points. So they played, some very close games, but they're struggling in the run game, and the Colts defense is playing very well, and their offense is extraordinary right now. This will go to one of my picks later. I think the Colts are one of the most elite teams in football right now. I mean, they are just playing very well. Coming down here, Seahawks, Jags. I'm going to have to give this to the Jags, man. I think they're playing great football too. I don't think they're necessarily elite yet. They're really going to have to prove it on the back end and like the defensive side. But offensively, man, doing it great. Doing it great. I mean, one guy on the defense has some great interceptions, but if they can really throw the whole game together, I think the Jags are going to they'll take this one away from the Seahawks. Seahawks know how to put the ball out there. I feel like the over-unders, I take the over on this game. This will be a high-scoring game, quite honestly. Offense, they're crazy over here. They rush well, too. They've got 2 really good running backs. Charbonnet's back, too, with Kenneth Walker. They're kind of the duo backs. Both took about 9 carries last week, too, so you can be kind of eye on both of those. And we got the Colts, and we got the Jags. And we got the, coming down here, Chargers, Dolphins. Man, I feel like the Chargers might have this one. Oh, we're getting ads. Here we are. 2025. Chargers, Dolphins. I feel like the Chargers would usually have this one. They're playing great football, but it's weird that they have 4.5 points against the Dolphins. Especially with them being 1-4. I might just have to give it to the Chargers because they have them at such a low spread, but it makes me very weary having it that low. Browns, Steelers here. This is a tough one, especially because the Browns are struggling at quarterback now. I don't think you can really give them 4.5 unless the offense truly figures it out. Running-wise, they get it there, but passing-wise, they have to find it. Steelers, I just got to give it to them because they're playing at home and they're just a more mature team. So we got to give it to the Steelers here. Patriots, Saints. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I was like, I can't pick my Saints no more. They've been losing me games. And then they cover last week. The Saints covered. They're not going to cover this week, though. Patriots just put on a clinic against the Bills. I think they'll figure it out. If Rodmore Stevenson could hold on to the football, this team might be very good. I think he has like 5 fumbles through 5 games. Got to hold on to the ball, buddy. You're in the NFL. But I think they'll cover. Patriots by 3.5. Raiders, Titans. Raiders favorite. How about that? I'm not going to give it to the Raiders. I'm going to give it to the Titans here. First of all, I am a wholeheartedly admitted Raiders hater. But you also got to think Tennessee, they're going to travel well too. The Vegas stadium, they never pack it out. let's see Tennessee get there, give these guys a show. They came back last week. They can do it this week. I believe in them. 49ers, Bucks. Buccaneers, 3.5 points, man. Baker Mayfield is playing so good. Without Bucky Irving, it doesn't matter. Without, Chris Godwin, it doesn't matter. Without Mike Evans, it does not matter, man. That guy's a dog. We did talk about the Baker Mayfield cycle. He might play like shite this week, but I think they'll still play better than the 49ers. 49ers look good, but they're still beat up. And they kind of give themselves if Mac Jones isn't playing lights out, then they're not going to play well. And you really have to account on that. And I feel like that's not something you want to bank on. I'd rather take Baker over this guy, just comparing quarterbacks and looking at the two teams. Because defensively, I feel like they're both very similar, very good on the defensive side. Yeah, here we are. 10th in total yards passing defense, 10th in total yards, or 15th in passing defense, and then 20th in up here, and then 10th down here. So you kind of get a good mix up of these guys, but I'm going to have to give it to my Bucks. They've been playing such good football. 14.5-point spread for the Bengals and the Packers. Oh my goodness. The Packers can barely beat the Cowboys, and they're going to come and try to play the Bengals with a Joe Flacco. Man, Joe Flacco's flying he's flying to Cincinnati right now. Woo! Team twice in 1 year potentially happened. Joe Flacco with the Browns beats the Packers. He's going to come and do it with the Bengals too. Bengals offense is legit. If they have a quarterback that can get the ball there, this is a crazy game. I got to take the Bengals at 14 plus 14.5. Tell them, bring me my money. All right, we got Chiefs and Lions here. Chiefs at home. Boys, I got to take the Chiefs here. This is going to be a crazy game. Just matchup wise, the Lions have a phenomenal offense. Amon-Ra, duo backs. Gibbs and Montgomery are insane, man. Hutchinson on defense. Linebacker crew is lights out too. Secondary's pretty good on the Lions, but I feel like that's where the Chiefs might shine here. Understandably, Chiefs have struggled in the passing offense, but when they look good, they look so good. I went and rewatched the film from this weekend, and when they play well and they're out there actually catching the ball and Travis Kelce is getting off the ball, the Chiefs look so good. Obviously, the Lions are in like a flow state right now, and you got to think that, hey, man, these guys can't do it for too long. They're obviously a great team, great head coach, play hard football, but they're coming into the Chiefs' kingdom, and Chiefs don't usually like that. So I think the Chiefs will take them here on Sunday Night Football too. That's not usually a game that Patrick likes to lose, although he did last week on Monday. Coming into Monday night, we got 2 games this week. Lovely to see. How about that? 2 games. One at 6:15, one at 7:15. So we got the Bills early. You're going to have to let them cover here, but this is also something I look at as almost a trap game. Just because of how the Bills played last week, you never know if these guys are going to come out and play the same playbook. Obviously here, everyone has 8 expert picks towards the Bills for 3.5 points. This would be one to watch, though. If everyone's hard on the Bills and heavy on the Bills, this was a Vegas win right here. They're just going to come in and sneak it from us again. They did it this weekend. They got sneaky. Bears and Commanders, man. You got to give it to the Commanders here. They're playing phenomenal football. Just took on a good Chargers team and brought it to them. And the Bears, they're off a bye week. So obviously they could have some potential here. But they're playing at the Commanders, and I think you got to give it to them there. I just don't think the Bears got enough rest. They're going to need a couple weeks for that. Total points for Buffalo, Atlanta. Let's go Buffalo 28. I feel like they'll get working. Oh, they're playing in Atlanta. Never mind. We're going to go 18 to – Atlanta plays great defense. 18 to 12 because they're not going to score a touchdown. So they're going to score 4 field goals. Total points for Chicago. Oh, let's go 13 just to be safe. Maybe they do score a touchdown and 2 field goals. Total points for Chicago. Total points for Washington. Washington's going to have 30, 35, and Chicago will have 24. It'll be an 11-point win there, I bet. Okay, we have all of our 15 picks in for this week. So far this year, we're two weeks positive, 3 weeks negative, but we are about 44 out of 78 on the year. So not doing too shabby, but not doing amazing. I'm obviously not in the winner circle here. Standing wise, I think I'm way, 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 way back. Yeah, 20 thousandths back there. There is someone with 50. Okay, so I have 38 year to date. Winner has 53. So I'm 8, 8, 6, 7, 9. So really need to come out with a strong week here. We're on a nice trend upwards. It means we're understanding the game. It's very nice. So we'll go for a nice one here. Coming over to our fantasy leagues and our matchups. This is my 5-0 league. Very happy to say that. I think I'll go 6-0 this week. I got a 57 chance to win. But check out my receivers here. Emeka Egbuka, Deebo Samuel, Quentin Johnson, Puka Nacua. Those guys aren't too bad, are they? Yep, and I got Kyron at running back and Daniel Jones at quarterback. I think they'll really tear these guys up. He has some good pickups on the sides over here, but my wide receivers and dwarf his majorly. Coming over to the what team is this? The Catalina Wine Mixer League. I've moved Mason Taylor up to starting tight end. I feel like he's been having some great weeks. Kind of a main target there. 17 points last week at Dallas, 11 in Miami. Let him have a good week too. So I moved him up. I have Josh Downs and Michael Pittman as my flexes this week. I picked up Josh Downs. They're playing in Arizona. I feel like that's a good way for Danny Dimes, my quarterback, to really get after these guys. If they have a good one with both of these wide receivers and Daniel Jones, it'd be a little triple multiplier there. I do have a couple guys on buys. Nico Collins would usually be in here, and Nick Chubb as well as my flexes. Coming up to this is the Glory on the Goal Line League. We have me as a 57% chance to win too. Oh, and we need to go what our chance to win here is. We're playing Neighbors Think I'm Selling Dope. We got 54. We're playing against 46. Yeah, I think I might take this. I mean, he has a great lineup, but it's kind of guys that you'd look at and be like, they're going to have to have a really good week to play against. Yeah, and he has Radmore Stevenson. I hope he drops the football 5 times against the Saints. Okay, coming back to the Glory on the Goal Line. Over here, great guys on wide receiver. I think Romeo Doubs, he's been having some great weeks. I said we should go pick him up. He's at an 8, 11, 4, and a 29, and then a bye week. So coming off a bye, playing a bad Cincinnati team that looks like they're very much struggling, defensively at least. Offensively, they're if they get Joe Flacco in this week, they're going to be playing real nice. But they're going to have to put up some great defense if they want to stop him. So I have him up there. And I have Quentin Johnson up here too. He is questionable. But if need be, got Garrett Wilson down here. Got Devontae Smith. We got some backups if need be. Amon-Ra. I would love to play Amon-Ra, but I just know here's an example. When they played Green Bay, which is a pretty good defense, he only had 8.5 points. He played Chicago, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. These are some of the worst teams in the league, to be honest. Now, when they played Baltimore, they were a good team, but the Baltimore does not have a good secondary. We saw that when they played the Chiefs. So I'm going to say the Chiefs kind of give him some tough defense here. He's obviously going to score a couple points, but I'm going to leave him on the bench just because I'm a hater, if I'm being quite honest. And then hop into my big money league. Tied 50-50. Let's see what we got here. I'm playing against the commissioner, Sean Taylor, Sling Dog. Picked up Kendrick Miller. He's going to come in for Kamara, I feel like. If he's going to get some more touches this week, that'll be very nice. 5, 5, 7, 11, 10. They're playing the New England, who did give a good week to James Cook last week. So if they end up stopping the run, I totally understand, but I have no one else at running back. Woody Marks is on a bye, and Bucky Irving is on IR. So, yeah, he's still not practicing. They shouldn't play him. That would be very unwise of them to play him and hurt his shoulder. Jamar Chase, I feel like he's going to have a good week. If Joe Flacco gets him the ball, that'll be very elite. Emeka Ebuka. I watched the interview of him. Very nice kid. Very, very smart. I didn't know he was very knowledgeable. Just the way he talked about things, the way he interacted with the crew. Very, very proud of this guy. He's an awesome. 163 yards in this win last week. Oh my gosh, this guy's going to take Rookie of the Year. He's insane. Picked up a kicker and dropped the guy that was on the Buffalo that is still on IR. They said he'd be back week 5. It is week 6. You're off my team, buddy. Mike Bagley for Indianapolis Colts. I was surprised he was even out there. He's been having some very, very good games. So we'll take him. Oh, no, Spencer Schrader, season in injury. Bagley emerged as a tryout with a contract and will now have the opportunity to kick with the Colts. Has racked up a high 53 points while knocking through. Bagley can't be counted on to match accuracy Schrader has displaced, but the 30-year-old should at least benefit from playing his home games indoors. Okay, Mike Bagley. Out of the swamps. I thought he was the kicker for Indianapolis. I wasn't even paying attention to Schrader that he tore his knee up. Poor guy. He was playing pretty good. All right, hopping back over here. We need some good juju for this weekend, folks. Need some good Chiefs love. Oh my God. I don't want to see this bullshit. You see that ugly green Gatorade? Oh my God. Okay, there we go. More purple Gatorade. Blue Gatorade. Okay. Eagles. I hate them. All right. I really hope they lose tonight. I need my boys to win. Chiefs, counting on you boys. Coming into a good weekend, need some betting lines hit to hit. On the money line week, I'm going to be throwing in some parlays for money lines, stacking them up probably like 8 to 10 legs because I feel like this is a great week for money lines, maybe not spreads. There is a lot of some very iffy 4 to 7 point spreads, and I feel like that's where Vegas really kills in that 4 to 7 range. So we'll see y'all next time on the pod. Much love, Chiefs. Chiefs by 50. Thank you for watching.